Look, if you want to understand the massive paradigm shift that just completely fractured the tech industry this week, you are in exactly the right place. We are looking at a week where the tech world formally split into two totally different directions. On one side, artificial intelligence is now, autonomously building itself, and on the exact same day, governments are aggressively moving to lock human kids entirely out of the internet. It's really a two-front war, the limitless acceleration of AI development versus the heavy hand of global regulation. So buckle up, because the pacing on this is relentless and the implications are absolutely massive.
Think about the ultimate modern paradox for a second. On one side, we have platforms like GitHub completely unleashing AI, giving it unparalleled digital freedom and capabilities to execute tasks on its own. And on the flip side, human users, specifically teenagers in the UK, are facing strict new restrictions and heavy digital padlocks. It's wild. AI is basically being handed the keys to the kingdom, while everyday users are being fenced in.
All right, let's dive right into part one, the agentic workflow revolution, starting with the neon utopia of what is happening in the world of code.
We are experiencing some insanely rapid acceleration here. Remember pre-2022? Coding was entirely manual. You typed the syntax, you fixed the bugs, you literally did all the heavy lifting. Then, from 2022 to 2025, we entered the Copilot era. AI became this kind of glorified autocomplete. You type a comment and it would suggest a block of code. Pretty cool. But look at phase 3, June 12, 2026. GitHub introduces native agentic workflows. This is the critical leap, guys. We're no longer treating AI as a helpful little assistant that just suggests things. We're treating it as an autonomous digital employee that actually executes the work for you.
So what does an agentic workflow actually look like in the real world? Well, you don't really write code anymore. Step 1, you just prompt a high-level task. Something like, fix the memory leak in the payment module. And that's it. From there, the AI just takes over. It autonomously navigates your repository. It writes the code, it runs the testing suite. If it hits an error, it debugs its own mistakes without even bothering you. And finally, it creates the pull request. GitHub has effectively turned its platform into an agentic OS. As a developer, you are no longer a typist. You are now a manager of an AI swarm.
Now, because of this agent OS, the barrier to entry for building software just dropped to absolute zero. It's birthed this concept you are absolutely going to hear everywhere: vibe coding. Developers now just describe the end goal, the vibe of the application they want. You say, make me a fast, futuristic dashboard for my fitness data, and the AI agents handle every single line of syntax, all the library integrations, and the complete execution. You don't need to know C++ or Python anymore. You just need to know how to articulate the vibe. Now, you might be wondering about the human cost here, because there is some massive developer anxiety out there right now. Junior developers whose entire job was writing standard boilerplate code are terrified. But the shift isn't really about destroying jobs. It's an evolution. As the saying goes, we are moving from a world of software engineers to software architects. It's actually an incredibly exciting time for founders and creators. To survive and thrive in this new era, your job is no longer to write the code. Your job is to direct the AI.
Okay, shifting gears entirely, let's move to part 2, the regulatory wall. Because while the AI development world is experiencing this limitless acceleration, the consumer internet is crashing headfirst into a very strict new regulatory reality.
On June 15, 2026, literally just 3 days after GitHub unleashed autonomous AI, the UK officially declared an under-16 social media ban. Following in the exact footsteps of Australia's recent legislation, the government has basically decided that the mental health crisis fueled by infinite scroll addiction is just too severe to ignore. And make no mistake, this is a massive existential threat to platforms like Meta and TikTok in these regions. Their entire business model relies heavily on the addictive habits of younger demographics to drive massive ad revenue. By legally severing access for the under-16 demographic, the UK is effectively signaling that the growth at all costs ad model, that's over.
But here is where the rubber really meets the road, and it brings us to a massive, lingering question. How do you prove a user's age online without destroying their privacy? I mean, it's one thing to pass a law. It is an entirely different beast to actually enforce it. And experts are warning of a severe enforcement nightmare right now. Let's brutally dissect the technical reality of what this means. You can't simply ask a user to click a button that says, "Hey, I'm over 16 anymore." To strictly enforce this ban, tech companies will have to mandate hard verification. That means forcing users to upload actual passport scans, government ID cards, or submitting to highly invasive facial age estimation scans. Privacy advocates are screaming from the rooftops about this because creating centralized databases of citizen IDs and facial scans, that creates massive, irresistible data honeypots for hackers. Enforcing an age ban functionally means destroying online anonymity for everyone.
This creates an inescapable privacy paradox. The government has a totally noble goal: protect children from the algorithmic profiling and addictive nature of social media, right? But the only way to achieve that is to legally force those exact same children to hand over their government IDs and biometric facial data to the very tech companies the government says cannot be trusted. It is a glaring, massive contradiction.
So let's look at part 3, the capital shift, and see how global capital is shifting in real time to deal with this intense two-front war.
Plus 10%. That is a massive number in the world of institutional investing. This week, tech investment giant SoftBank saw its shares surge more than 10%. And guess what? It wasn't because they invested in some hot new consumer social app. It was entirely on the back of massive, multi-billion-dollar bets on AI infrastructure.
The macro trend here is unmistakable. Capital is actively abandoning the restrictive, highly legislated world of the consumer internet. Instead, it is pouring billions into the physical infrastructure, the server farms, the advanced chips, the power grids required to fuel these new AI agents. The market is signaling very clearly, the future isn't in keeping human kids scrolling on their phones. It's in funding the limitless compute of our new AI workforce.
Which leaves us with this pretty wild final thought. Are we intentionally building a bifurcated future? Think about it. A world where artificial intelligence agents are granted complete, autonomous, digital freedom to create, build, and deploy, while our own human children face biometric checkpoints and digital padlocks just to access the internet. It's the defining irony of our era. Think about what this means for the next 10 years, and let us know where you stand on this tech divide. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking the hard questions, and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.